I don't think they'll go for... Maybe they go for Coddle again. The issue is, if they go for Coddle Shaker, that support duo is very weak against the exact playstyle Liquid just had. So Liquid are aware of that, and I feel like they kind of want to play against a Coddle Shaker again.
What heroes would you, if they do go with the Coddle, what heroes would you like to see in place of that Shaker?
Now, I'm not so sure that the Shaker was the problem. Like,
I mean, the combination.
I mean,
Yeah,
no,
together.
even when you look at the combination, I like that combo. It's okay, right? Both of the heroes are okay in lanes. They're not super aggressive, but they can enable some heroes. I just feel like if you want to play Coddle Shaker, then maybe it's better than avoid that you get something that the Coddle actually enables in lane, Bristleback, Ember, and so on.
Okay. So Nigma first pick in the Ember.
Maybe they're going towards what you were just saying. Of course, Ember just slots into any draft right now.
Nab it up. Now Liquid's like, oh, what do? We haven't first faced an Ember Spirit. We have not seen this before. We need to go to page 2 of our strats.
Scrolls through. Well, they wouldn't be able to do what they just done last game because the Oracle was banned out in the first phase, I believe. So what's on the table? We're thinking straight away. Oh, there's the Colt and the Grimstroke actually this time around.
Okay, sure. It's an interesting support duo, especially against the Ember. Ember loves playing against Coddle and also loves playing against like no real hard stun. Of course, there's still 3 more picks to go, but if you just look at the mid lane of this core Ember versus support duo, he's very happy with these 2 heroes, seeing them.
They're very easy pickoffs, right?
You can use Grim ulti, and the Phantom Embrace is kind of a...
Sure, it's a small thing.
Nuisance.
It's not as reliable as that big hard stun. That's what I think I was mainly referring to there.
I think it's the point as well that like Ember, he's first in, right? So he's ahead of his team. So if you soulbind him, it's more like a please get away from me, right? It's not like there's always going to be someone next to him.
Yeah, I mean, if you can soulbind him to someone, of course.
Yeah.
If he's on his own,
If he's
it doesn't do anything.
He just
It
lets you
doesn't
go,
do anything.
okay then, I'm just going to leave.
That doesn't do anything, of course. If you just soulbind him, they remove the movement speed of the soulbind completely, and now they go for a Lich.
Casual Lich. Wow.
Well, it's got to be more behind.
Casual Lich. It's just a Lich. Nothing really to say. It's just...
Don't devalue
right.
the hero, okay? There's a reason that this hero felt so strong for quite a while.
It's just
still
not that
pretty decent.
good nowadays, I don't think. It's okay in lane.
Place?
Oh, it's kind of cute, but it's not as like, ooh, you're going to win this lane as a Lich type of thing. So
Maybe
it provides that the gusto, the fight, the early aggression, the early frost shield, you go fight.
It gets the Ember tankier, right?
Yeah,
the Ember can jump in. He has the shield, so he's going to soak up the magic damage, and here he's going to soak up the physical most of the physical damage as well. So he can survive, which is very important for this hero.
I guess the point as well is we were talking about this move away from just going save support, something that can bully the lane, and you can spam out your spells with the Lich, right? You can actually apply a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, I'd like Nigma to go for an Earth Spirit here, just so that they completely round out their support duo and they have a little bit more to a team fight compared to Liquid. I think if you have Earth Spirit, I keep saying this when I see Ember, I always like the Ember Earth Spirit combo for that double jump on the back line. I think an Earth Spirit will be very disruptive in this game. Kotal doesn't like having to think about himself in a team fight. He likes to be able to just enable his team throughout an aggressive Will-O-Wisp, but yeah, if you have this Earth Spirit, especially with the Lich as well, you spoke earlier about position 4 feeling a little bit kind of hard to play. You have to just maybe enable your offlane, but I think that the critical thing for position 4 is that early TP rotation into a lane to convert a kill. So if you have a Lich +1 lane, there'll always be kill potential. If suddenly you have an Earth Spirit TP in, roll in with the boulder, put Frost Shield on him, you're probably going to be killing anyone who's stepped up a little bit too far.
Yeah, these 2 supports actually look like the types of heroes that you would like to be playing against when you are an Earth Spirit. So I can see that happening.
Oh, Team Liquid, they do go for the DK, which they can flex. We've seen boxy players here before quite well.
Yeah, especially because they do have last pick, they'll be able to just decide where it's going to go at the very end of the draft to really enable Koikova. If they want to obviously give him that optimal last pick, or they could just give him the DK and then pick Boxy, that game-winning off-lane that can just dominate a game like we just saw on the Slardar. But I still feel Earth Spirit is very strong for them. Vessel Buyer can deal with the DK, support duo.
And it works well with the Ember as well, right? It's another hero that can get in and punish these squishy supports on Liquid.
Yes, correct.
I think if they go Earth Spirit, I think the Ember goes for the Vessel. To be honest, like Earth Spirit really needs to get a solid early game for him to be able to get the vessel. We usually see the position players only getting the levels, and they go for a clock.
This is an interesting pick because they've played it on mind control before, and also they can play it on GH. So because this DK pick is like a light flex it's a hard flex in the draft where you don't know what's going to happen. Now you're going to see, okay, so what is actually one of your win conditions potentially, and then they can decide where the clock's going to go. Is it 3? Is it 4? And then they can utilize the fact that they have the last pick in the second phase on Team Nigma to really open up their draft. I like the idea in some games of this clock just being a core because it's so easy. The early levels, these supports, again, the whole concept of the Earth Spirit is they don't like being jumped. Clockwork loves jumping, obviously the backlines will pretty much could destroy any hero outside of DK, of course. But 70% of heroes, there you go. Let's retract that statement. But yeah, I like the fact that this Clockwork has that potential flexibility in their draft to give them that aggression. But as I said at the start, Nigma have completely shifted their playstyle because they've gone, hold up a second, why are we trying to like outlast the fighting team when we can just, outfight them? These guys won the We Save tournament because of their like beautiful OG-esque playstyle.
Yeah, I just want to kill you.
Yeah, relentlessly.
And it's not about the kills just that alone, right? Because we already talked about how kills alone aren't worth much. It's what comes with that, the early towers you take, the invasion of the jungle.
Back at it with the troll.
I mean, it's unbeaten so far. I think it's now 9 games.
And you also have even though you don't have that big save with the Oracle, you now have the obnoxious laning phase of Coddle Troll. You're going to have the Whirling Axis spam with the Chakra. It's always going to be in your face. But if Nigma can pick up an aggressive hero with that clock, it is going to be a strong lane. Level 3 on clock with level 2 points battery assault, 1 point cogs. It will kill these heroes, even if they are trying to spam out this Whirling Axis.
I mean, but how do you get to them? That's my idea. This clock plus whatever I see here, you just get blinding light, and you're not gonna do anything.
It's all about if the Coddle, let's say, wastes blinding light to secure maybe a range creep, or he uses it early. Then that's the point of the position 4. The position 4 has to bait out that spell, and then you capitalize on that being on cooldown.
Okay, Necro.
Oh, Necro.
I like it. The only thing I don't like is that Nigma doesn't necessarily have the burst damage to bring a hero below 50%. They have some ways, they have solid spells, but not like a clear, okay, we're gonna destroy this DK to half of his HP and then just use the Reaper Scythe. So it can be done, but you need all your spells used. So solid pick, can go both mid and the offlane. To be honest, it's a kind of a hero that possibly I'd like to see in the offlane against the troll. I don't like your idea of going aggressive. I don't know how you actually kill them.
Yeah, well, it's all about just once you connect, then you can. I think Liquid, they set themselves up for a pretty good brood game here, for example. If Nigma don't ban it out here and they go for another aggressive fighting type hero, I think this is just a free brood game for Qualifiers to take over. You put the DK offlane and off you go.
Is there a hero that, if they don't ban it out, they could still cover their own asses against the Brood potential pick?
In terms of the Weehaw hero pool,
TA?
Yeah, TA is available, that's for sure.
Meepo is now banned. Meepo would be one as well. So would you even like to play Meepo against these heroes? Like, you have the Ignis Fatus, you have the Troll's Axis. It's not the best.
They have enough early jump to negate those things. The Clock and Ember just going first, and the Meepo just farms up, plays up on the side, maybe early Blink Dagger, and then you play off the fact that you have that initiating factor already. I think Weehaw is one of those people that even if he's against some of the lighter counters against the Meepo, he'll still happily play it and probably dumps to the game because it is the Weepo.
Yeah, TA looks decent here.
What do you ban out if you're thinking TA then?
The fact that you have this flexibility in the DK just makes it so much harder. I still think that Liquid should just lock in the DK as your offlaner, unless Nigma picks some wild carry that can just dumpster a DK, and then you want to pick a super mobile active core on mid lane for Quaker. For example, a Quop or maybe even a Storm to some degree. These two heroes would just pop off in this game. It diversifies your damage. You have Troll and DK naturally just going to be those brute physical damage, and then you just chuck in a little magic dealer, and then suddenly your draft looks well-rounded, and it's pretty scary for Nigma.
I mean, he did play the Lone Druid
Sure, yeah.
That hero looks better to me because he can actually go with the DK to push the towers while the troll is farming. If you go for like a storm, then the troll needs to go with the DK because you do need 2 cores somewhere, and then because the storm really needs some farm, and then he's gonna be TPing into the fight. And do you really want to put yourself in that position, given that the storm is not the greatest of heroes right now? So. I would like to see a lone druid for Liquid.
I think was it Blitz that said, like, when he's asked, is this a good Storm game? And right now he's like, no game is a good Storm Spirit game.
There will always be one day a good Storm game.
In a future patch, right?
There one day Storm will have his resurgence.
Some push.
Pushka.
Also, you don't have to worry about maybe that coming out against your Necrophos, right?
It's never a troll counter, if anything. It's the fact that you have multiple ways to annoy the troll in fights. You can never really jump the Necro because he has Shroud. Pugna has Decrypt for his entire team. You've also got the Lich covering it as well. So they've got a lot of ways to make sure that this troll will never really pop off in the game. Again, like we mentioned already, there's a big gap in the draft in which either Lone Druid just run down your towers, or this hypermobile mid lane with magic damage will just rip them through again. So there's literally 2 options they can go for, and they go for Batrider, which is, yeah, mobile mid hero that can run over your heroes. And I think
you think you lane him mid, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think Nigma, they've gone back for their drafting style of the WeSave tournament, where they have heroes that can blend well in that 10-15 minute mark. They can, if they outplay you, they can control the game. My only fear is simply you have a Batrider who's going to have a free time mid. He can set his own tempo individually. You then have this DK. He's always going to rush that early Blink Dagger. It's a scary game for sure for Nigma, but I think now they're back in their comfort zone of the games that we saw them really crush on.
I mean, I really like this Batrider, and if it's mid, both Pugna and Necro struggle against it.
It's boxy. It's probably just an offlane bat, right? And DK mid.
I mean, they can go either way.
Yeah, sure.
Like, whatever they go, this bat is going to have a decent game. This DK is going to have a decent game. Troll also seems like it's going to have a good time. But are they going to have a good enough laning phase to actually snowball like the last time?
Yeah, that's why I'm still kind of more shifting towards Nigma, because I think Liquid are pretty much very reliant on their Batrider setting the tempo, because their support geo isn't as aggressive. So if Nigma just leaves their laning phase and bunch up, then it's going to be very hard to deal with them, because Troll will be recovering his own game.
Well, Nigma definitely coming with a more out-of-the-lane swinging type lineup, and we'll see if they can actually even up this score and need a game 3, or if Liquid can, more early than the last tournament, get a win series in. And on the line, we have got OD Pixel, and I'm not really sure at this point if it's just Lacoste or maybe Fogged got really good at doing accents.
Well, I'll throw you another curveball. We actually have Fogged in now because he's here. Fogged, how are you doing?
Hello, test. Am I working? I'm good. My internet, of course, again, round 2. Didn't work this morning at first for a while, so yeah, but I'm here. I made it, Lacoste, of course. Amazing. Love listening to
we'll see if you can do as good a job, you know. You got
I doubt it, but I'll try.
Yeah. But I mean, here we go. Fogged, you know, game 2. I've got to be honest, for me, I think this is a much better draft from Nigma. I mean, what do you sort of see from these 10 heroes we've got coming to the battle?
I like the way that they reacted a lot to the way Liquid was drafting. Right? I feel like you see the Clockwork pick, and you're like, okay, yeah, they have this clear avenue to try to get into the back lines with Clockwork and Ember, so they can jump on top of the Coddle and the Grimstroke. So that's pretty neat. And then they saw like no magic damage, right? You see like Coddle, Grimstroke, DK Troll. These heroes, sure, they have magic damage within them with like Breathe Fire, Axes, Cut Blast, blah, blah, blah. But Pugna and Necrophos overall should be pretty strong when they saw those. I think this Batrider pick, though, is super nice. I think that's like also them reacting to what Nigma had. And this hero is incredible versus not only the Pugna as well as the Necrophos, but even Clockwork, too. It's going to be pretty tough for the Clock to get catches on him. So that should be nice. And I think both teams have definitely like kind of counterpicked a little bit of each other. So kind of see how those lanes play out.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely at least Nigma's lineup for me. It's these heroes, when it comes to sort of plays by their towers, they have so many heroes that can react, you know, TP and actually have quite a good impact against any sort of offensive maneuver that Liquid try. You know, if we see sort of Boxy maybe seizing an opportunity to chase down heroes with the Firefly, Nigma have these heroes like GH can come in with the Cogs, or Kuro with a Sinister Gaze or a shield, and suddenly sort of turn it around. Obviously, in the big game, you'll have that huge amount of magic nuke with the Decrepify Scythe combo. He's running in.
There's 3.
They get the blast on Tiger. There is 4 heroes now. Boxy will turn up, and that will mean they could turn, and suddenly that Battery Assault is a whole lot A lot less scary when it's being shared between 4 heroes. As GH will attempt to run. I'll get a few
They'll make him
stacks
work
up
for
on
it a little bit.
Yeah, Boxy should be able to finish this though. GH could try to hide and TP out, but it would be a bit of a risk. And yeah, no chance of that happening with Boxy. Keep a vision on him. As first blood will go to the bat. And Boxy will go to the mid. So as the panel we're talking about, it is going to be a mid bat, but just switching up the roles a little bit. Liquid Boxy to play the mid bat and Qualifiers to be taking the DK to the off lane.
I like this lane setup. I think it's perfect. I think panel has mentioned it for a good reason, and I think your DK, like, you're fine with this. You're fine being bottom versus Ember and Lich. There's a lot of magic damage that can come out with him at like level 2 and level 3. Could be the one concern for Qualifiers if he's just too far up. But I think the Batrider mid is they prefer having Boxy having the best game possible. Set him up to just be the king.
They're doing a good job of punishing Qualifiers whilst he has this level 1 Dragon Tail, no passive, no regen, no protection. As Nigma will be able to push that DK out of the lane earlier. If they can, again, repeat that when he gets back in, he is very vulnerable when he's just the level 1 DK.
Yeah, for sure. That was the one thing I'm concerned about is when the lane's so far up, you're playing versus Lich. He's going to get 3 nukes on you because he's going to have how many mangoes possible. So he's just going to chase you very far as we see KuroKy really dominating. 7 stick charges on this Lich too.
They might get this kill.
Taiga.
Oh, no, not quite in range for the last blast. Qualifiers does lead him with the Dragon Tail onto Miracle. Quick juke of the nuke from Taiga, and Taiga still having to sit back. Does have the salve, and still enough mana to play with a couple of nukes, so he'll hang around. Kuro trying to see if he can cancel the salve, but Taiga gets it off. Now maybe they can turn. Taiga's hit level 2, so he's got that Ink Swell to help set things up onto Kuro's Lich.
Oh.
The nuke, it's gonna miss.
He misses.
Taiga whiffs it. Kuro, he's actually going to be able to live because of that. Taiga will get the courier instead, but Taiga, he'll lose his life for that one. A bit of a rare whiff from Taiga, especially after he came in game 1 and gave that excellent performance. As a kill is missed, and it cost him his life in the lane.
We allow the melee misses on the Grimstroke nuke because it comes up from your side sometimes, so it's like you just miss it right there. But Miracle.
I mean, he got the kill. He got the kill. That's a worth. He's going to say that's a worth. Is he going to live? He's got chains. He's going to be able to run it. There's a nuke up in a few seconds. We'll see if Taiga wants to try and chase for this one, but there's the backup of Kuro coming in, drawing Taiga's attention away from Miracle. Miracle will have the slight change combo back up in a couple of seconds. Taiga plays it safe and gets back. Miracle coming forward once more. One nuke alone won't be quite enough, and even if he attempts for it, Taiga Miracle can look to dupe with the slight combo. I say that, I mean Taiga. I mean if they could one more, they got it.
Yeah, both.
Taiga okay. We're seeing outplays from both sides down here on the bottom lanes. First off, it's Nigma tripping up Liquid, but then Liquid come back in the lane. Miracle tries to be sweet with a sleight of fist dodge, but Taiga reads him like a book.
Push back.
If they got the damage though to kill him, I mean Mickey and GH both needing to be careful. As neither side will be able to quite finish off one another. The bottom lane continues to be the place where we're seeing all the action so far this game. Mid lane matchup 13 for 1, 12 for 6. Pretty even in trade. Just having the edge in the denies. I mean, in this lane, like, as the bat, is there ever an opportunity to kill the Necrophos, or as a Necro, you're always playing in a way with your 1 charges that you're never going to leave yourself open to be dove upon by bat?
I think for the most part, you're the one pushing the lane in as a Necrophos, because Bat does not really have that same element. Like, your Firefly's super long cooldown, so you're pretty much always having a bad lane positioning to go for those dives. It is possible if your Necro steps up a little bit too far, if there's a surprise positioning that just you're too far up, but for the most part, you expect these players to be a little bit more careful with that. This top lane, though, is really funny. I think playing Clockwork versus misses is one of the funnier things, especially like a knockback, too. You can't kill your cogs sometimes. You're just stuck inside of them, like Whirling Axes plus Blinding Light. Or he just gets bounced out of his cogs. So definitely what the panel is talking about is happening as mid.
In the river. Just sort of a movement for the 4-minute room. Both sides getting unlucky there with their mid movements. It is down bottom. Taiga protecting it. It's going to be denied by Kuro. Will land the Ink Swell and the nuke onto to KuroKy. Kuro pops the stick charges. Boxy's trying to continue the chase. A couple of stacks of Napalm are there. But Boxy's on the low ground with no Firefly. And Kuro will be saved by the Death Pulse heal of Weeha. There's a lot of action focused around this mid lane with both teams' supports moving over here, mirroring each other's matchups. Leaving this bottom lane in a 1v1, Miracle versus Qualifiers, 14 for 5 against the 9 for 5. Miracle still just getting the slightly better trade of farm down here.
That is the worst last hits I think I've seen on one of these lanes in a long time. They have like 3 last hits a minute or something on each of them, maybe even less. Just a battle lane.
I was going to say, they've just been hitting the heroes
Yeah.
to start this one off. As
the
Cole
runes.
will fall, can they get Mickey? The blast is there, Mickey. Of course, not quite. We're not anywhere near the level 6, only level 4, of course, at this stage, with the way they've shared the XP. So 2 quick kills for Nigma, and bounty runes will be picked up top. Mind control able to get across.
Oh, Kuroki. No, his ward. Deny it. Oh, he gets the. Wait, what? Take out the gold anyway. You missed it. You didn't get it.
Wait, what happened? I didn't catch the word.
Top, it was a sentry ward placed before Kuroki placed the ward, and he went to deny it, and I think he didn't get it in time. I saw Coddle get the 121 gold for it.
Oh, Mickey. Again, being focused, Kuro trying to get in with the blast, but Mickey's too deep. They won't dive any further. Bottom
They're
lane.
applying a lot of pressure, though. That's pretty nice. Slowing down the troll, which needed to happen. Like you see, Mickey was all the way leading CS. I think this is a really good move actually for them. They're just parking Miracle bottom by himself because he's like, okay, he's pretty safe because he's got this. I say safe, getting gone on right away, but he's playing around it.
Oh, yeah, he's going to try and go aggressive on Tiger with the rest of that Flame Guard. It is level 3, so a decent amount of protection, but it will finally end. He's got a sleight of fist, but he hasn't got a chains, and he's not going to even be able to dodge the brief fire. Miracle just ends up getting walked down by the 2 of them. And Qualifiers going to have suddenly a big smile on his face, as this will give him the space to equalize the CS down here and close himself in towards that level 6 on the DK when he can start putting some serious pressure onto this safe lane tier 1.
Pretty interesting to see him go for that too. And mid, Boxy's actually getting aggressive himself. Gets Reaper to stop the actual lasso. Weehaw.
Has been shielded. There's a lot of stacks. Real respond with a stick charge. Boxy salving and bottling up. He still wants to keep those stacks going on Weehaw. Gets back in with the remainder of the Firefly and will get the kill. Nice play from Boxy. Gets the kill. Also forcing Nigma to try and hold off with the use of that Reaper Scythe, but they popped it. So a decent cooldown out of the game for 100 seconds on Weehaw's Necrophos because of that play from Boxy.
I love the way he played that too, right? Like he knows he has the haste, he knows he has all this, but he actually like salves and comes back in too, just that extra regen. Really nicely done. Perfect timing, his Firefly was just ending.
Yeah, he's on track to hit a good timing indeed for the bots this game. I mean, top net worth at the moment, Boxy. He's done very well in this mid lane. Weehaw comes back into the game and he moves down to the bottom to try and get something going with Miracle. They don't have the Scythe, but they shouldn't need it for Tiger. So they shouldn't need it. Tiger is still alive. Miracle backed off, feeling confident that the kill was finished off. They should certainly still get it. Tiger's going to do his best to juke. Just get the full use of the salve up. But surrounded by the 3 of them, he will finally fall. Takes him a little longer than maybe it should have, but they do get the kill done.
All right. Haven't really checked this out either. Gonna look inside the enemy, I say enemy. Wow, Nigma fanboy here. The liquid junk. Dyer's always enemy. Insania doing his typical stacking as Coddle, and now he's getting scouted out by GH. So that will be kept tabs of. I think Boxy might just go clean them out pretty soon with either Mickey or something, just because those are gonna get contested pretty soon.
GH is still hanging around. Mind control is going to be brought over, maybe to try and clear through these stacks with the blast if they can get in. Mickey's also ready to get involved. He's hit the level 6. He's got a full wand ready to pop. 20 charges available. Instantly Boxy's in with the lasso to cancel the life drain. Mind control dragged down to the low ground. He will fall, and GH, he's not going to be in trouble as well. Has got the cogs to push them back, but Boxy has got an insane amount of stacks there. GH will go for the smart play, uses the TP, actually cancels it as he realizes Boxy's not going to push on. And with that in mind, GH can stay on top of the map. Bottom, Kuro pops the one, able to get a blast off onto Quake for Miracle, trying to turn and get these kills with the triple remnant. Will have the burst required to kill off Quakefer. Not quite enough to go for Tiger. Back in the jungle up top, Weehaw. He's trying to take these stacks away. He is getting a lot of stacks of napalm on him in response. The stun there from the center causing issues. Weehaw tries for the TP out, will make it. The damage from the Firefly not quite enough to kill him. GH will be turned towards, but Mind Control's there, ready with the backup. Insania revs up a Duke, doesn't connect. Mind Control will hold the wave close to the towers. Now with this movement, he can try and put some pressure onto the tier 1 middle of Liquid.
Sneaky gank bottom. Look at Tiger's positioning right here in Miracle.
Goes for the sneak hit. The lead in with that silence. And Miracle, he's got a sleight of fist, but he hasn't got the mana or a remnant to jump to. Another clean kill from Liquid onto the safe lane Ember.
Love that positioning there by Tiger.
GH, he's on top of Mickey. Mickey's still got the ult to rely on. Does pop the ult. He's being drawn towards GH. The Decrepify will now end, so he can actually finish off the kill. Does die himself for it. Boxy, Inkswell looking to get in position to stun the two of them. Finally dies there to the Netherworld proc, and Weehaw will be able to come in and clean up Tiger with a Reaper's Sight. Nigma will take the advantage in terms of kills here, pushing Insania back behind the tower. See if they can do anything with this time or whether they're cleared off a few. They will be able to move around, take away a little stack from Liquid, so more farm into the pockets of Weehaw. Going straight for the Lotus Orb, it seems, this game. A lot of singles target, lockdown, silent stuns from the lineup of Liquid. So that Lotus Orb going to solve a lot of his problems when he wants to run straight into the front of the fights.
Yeah, definitely needs ways to just like guard himself. They're going to need a lot of different little protective items, especially for the Necrophos and the Pugna, because this bat's going to be some problems. But speaking of bat, Boxy,
he straight up just walked in an attempt to drag Kuro away from the rest of his team. And an overly aggressive play from Boxy. Did not read the map and realized that there was that much backup, despite how close they were to Kuro. A very ambitious play gets shut down immediately, and Nigma, off the back of that, can look to try and finish off this tower. Miracle already hovering in the neighborhood, seeing if he can find a catch behind it. If Insania or Tiger do go too far forward, Miracle wants to head in with the phase boots, jumps up towards Insania. Insania should fall here unless he wants to drop the ult. No, he doesn't want to waste it. He'll let himself die. No way that they can turn things if he does commit with the Ignis Fatuus. He'll let himself go. The tower gets taken. Nigma, they're just able to play so much faster this game with their draft in comparison to what they could do in game one, and we're seeing it here. Miracle already getting way more involved as this Ember Spirit. The urn is done. You can expect to continue to see this pace of play come out from Nigma's lineup.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this is the draft fits them so well, right? It's this constant fight. You're not really waiting for much of anything. You have Pugna to naturally just force these towers in every single time, as we see My Control immediately go toward top. They even were trying to like super aggressively play into the enemy jungle, even though that's so scary versus this lineup. Like you're playing versus like Batrider, Coddle into these like kind of big areas where in your jungle, and you can get caught really easily. But they just force the issue so hard now that they're going to get 2 towers out of it. And evening up the game pretty nicely. 12-10, lots of action.
Might be able to get Tower Denied down bottom too. Miracle. He's going to try and play onto Qualifier for this one, protected by the Frost Shield. They'll turn with the Inkswell and into the Ignis Fatuus. That locks him down perfectly into the silence. They don't quite have the damage to follow up, so Miracle will be fine. And now Qualifier, he's caught in the cogs. Miracle still with 3 remnants to play as he jumps towards the backlines. The Slider Fist into the Reaper's Scythe, enough to cut down the DK for 45 seconds. Chains connection onto Tiger. GH continue to move forward with Weehaw. Tiger will get left behind in the trees, but he goes for the TP out. They've got nothing to cancel it. Tiger is able to escape, leaving the only casualty to be Qualifier. That is still more than enough of a kill, though, for Nigma to push on with their numbers and start to eye up that third and final tier 1 tower.
So looks it's going to be a tough game for Qualifier. I feel like he's just going to get Reapered the whole game. They'll get Decrep into a Reaper for a lot of the times when he does step up, because he's their front line. You look, and he's really the only one who can for the time being until Boxy does get this Blink Dagger to get the initiations. And he's gone for the bots. So I think just getting in and starting the fights right now for Liquid is really difficult if the full numbers are there. It's 5v5. Nigma should be able to get a better initiation and catch with their heroes. And now they're going to get another tower. So 3 towers in the span of what, 3-4 minutes?
Yeah, they're
pretty
playing
good pace right now.
Incredibly fast. And their lineup, it's just so strong right now. You know, last game, Nigma, they had a huge error in terms of having any sort of damage. This game, they've got an abundance of it. You know, this sort of full magical lineup, amped up beautifully by the Decrepified Pugna. You know, they can just go in on any time. With the numbers, they get the kills. Miracle, though, alone, having a bit of a poke. GH will be able to come in with a hook shot and kill off Insania, but Miracle is dead. And now GH, he's gone in a little too deep for it. We know Miracle likes to go for these greedy, deep plays, but this is one that really doesn't end up with a happy ending for himself, as both him and GH are drawn to their death behind the tier 2 that Miracle tried to jump in behind.
I guess he was on the, because he didn't even use a remnant to get in there, so I guess he was on the high ground when the Coddle walked up initially. Very aggressive play. Forced a lot of reaction, but yeah, not worth it this time, as he gets both of them killed. Lanes are still always pushing out, though. That's Enigma's doing a really good job. I'm seeing every single time their lanes are always forcing into Liquid side, so see Liquid immediately start running to lanes to try to push them out. So Enigma right now can dictate the pace of the game really nicely with the way that their positioning is. As we see, immediately, no hesitation, they start running into Liquid's jungle.
The chains just set things up. Kuro can't quite get in range for any follow-up catch, so okay, we'll be able to walk away. But definitely the opportunity for more towers to be taken. Tier 2s being pressured, and Liquid, their lineup, at least not really until Mickey has his first item, are going to be ready to respond to these. You know, this is a lot of space for Nigma to get away with these objectives that they're taking.
Yeah, I mean, just killing the front line is it's pretty scary. Like we mentioned how Liquid doesn't really have the craziest magic damage. They have it with the Batrider, but that's not one of those where it's a burst magic damage. It takes some time to build up. They're playing versus heroes that can absorb all of the physical damage very easily, as we mentioned before, like Necrophos, Pugna, and even the Ember Spirit. Like he just pops his Flame Guard and he absorbs all of their magic damage that they do have, and then he's kind of just chilling with an Ice Armor from the Lich. So right now it does seem like Nigma's got a pretty good thing going for them as they get another tower. Seeming tough for Liquid to really catch a break in these last few moments.
I mean, at the moment they're just trying to hold things off, make space for Mickey. You know, he's the man that needs to carry them. They'll lose their call outside of the base. Insania found it's more easy pickoffs for Nigma to find that they can transition into another tier 2 tower. They just continue to eat up the map faster and faster. Nigma getting less and less time to really get their cores online as Mickey still tries to finish off this S&Y. And you know,
Nigma, blink now, but
they're going to start poking at high ground.
Yeah, we see Liquid Boxy has the blink. I think Qualifiers about to have his too. So now Liquid will at least have a form of initiation, at least be able to maybe drag someone out of position. But yeah, Nigma's they're already beating on high ground. We already see the Lotus Orb finished up as well for Weehaw. He's got the pipe queued up next.
There's the jump.
The box he's able to get.
Looks for the mind control. Pugna drags him in. The Ignis Fighters catching the fourth, and with the Inkswell and Boxy, they'll finish off one. They'll try and chase for more. The Chain Frost only bounces out a couple of times. Boxy, he's going to be certainly looking to try and chase this for more if they hang around, but they won't. Nigma backs right off. Without the Pugna, they don't want to try and force high ground without the full roster alive.
And that'll happen. That's a blink reveal from the Batrider. I don't think Nigma's like too taken back by this one here. They still have good positioning. We see top lanes pushing in, mid lanes pushing in, bottom's the only one they really need to address. So they're continuing to play in the enemy jungle for some time here versus Liquid. But now they know. Now they know that the blink is finished on the Batrider. They should have a good timing on when that lasso was used, so they should feel pretty safe for the next few moments. And immediately, they can actually just bring mind control to the outpost. Not even any slowdown. Immediately go back toward top to beat on the tower. Qualifiers also use Dragon Form, so they won't have that too.
See if Boxy is able to slow him down enough. 30 seconds until that lasso again, though. Miracle. Poke onto Insania on the side. We are trying to move in. The tower falling low. Liquid, can they slow this down enough? Mickey continues to just play the opposite side of the map, as he should, just making sure that he's farming as much as he can whilst Nigma's pushing in. But there is going to be a point where his team is going to need him to get involved if they want to stop losing the buildings. As the tier 3 is down, Nigma's starting to take these racks. They're focusing the melee, of course, and they're not showing any signs of stopping. Mickey now will TP back. He's pretty much got the SMY done. Yeah, he sells the Quelling Blade, so he has got his item out. Still not an easy game for Troll. They have a lot of counters, as we've talked about, Nigma.
Yep. Lasso is at the ready. Now there's you see Weehaw's putting that Lotus Orb on top of mind control over and over again, because he's actually the one who's doing the most building damage in every single one of these situations for now for them. So just really wanting to make sure that he's protected. They've got all the heroes back at the base, so their lanes are starting to push in a bit. They're going to back up on the side of Nigma, push those out. Did they leave a remnant in the area? They did. So Miracle goes bottom, leaves a remnant inside of Liquid's jungle so he can rejoin, and they're kind of leaving together still. Pushing mid out together, making sure nobody gets caught out by that Batrider. I like this move.
It's much more coordinated play this game 2 from Nigma in comparison to what we saw from game 1. They just have, you know, because they were able to have such a more solid start from the off, they're playing to their timings. They've got a clear way that they want to end this game. And it really is just all on Team Liquid to try and find some sort of way to slow them down. They have got that blink, as we say on Qualifier. They've got that dual initiation. They do have the combos, you know, Soulbind into Lastos, Dragon Tails. It's a huge amount of lockdown. Damage is still going to be the main issue for Liquid's lineup, though. Actually getting these kills before a protective Decrepify comes out, or suddenly a few heals are pumped out from a Death Pulse, and the protection's given from a Frost Shield. They've got to try and find ways to isolate the heroes of Nigma. Boxy. He's caught outside of the base. That's a Scythe dropped as well. 70 seconds. It's time to start knocking at the high ground again for Nigma.
Qualifiers trying to push this out as far as he can. He's even blinking past. Look at this. He's trying to get the next wave to try to slow them down. Nigma knows this is their time. Going for this Rax. We see Miracle's actually setting up to try to catch Koikfa, it's looking like. Same thing with GH. Also, I just noticed there's an Urn and a Spirit Vessel on Nigma, so they did double up.
Oh, they did double up.
Yep, Miracle has Spirit Vessel, GH bought an Urn recently.
Radiant are scanning.
Okay. I mean,
Painful, but happens.
I mean, I guess they're winning, so you know, whatever at the moment. Yeah, not sort of your standard.
They're not winning by too much. Like, they're playing great to their strengths into line, but Liquid is, look at the gold. It's like dead even, and this troll is starting to get pretty big.
It is, but I think that gold on Nigma's heroes right now is much more scary than the difference indicates. Straight in, GH goes on to Tiger. There'll be a buyback from Boxy. He's ready to turn into this one. The Soulbind's out, locking together both GH and Weehaw. He's committing here with the Battle Trance. Mickey, the Battle Trance is soon to end. Jump forward with the Remnant. Mickey is straight up dead. It's a beautiful chain frost from Kuro. Could not be any better. Bouncing between Quakefa and Boxy. That's a dieback on the bat. Nigma can stand their ground. They can clean up this second Rax here on the top lane, getting both of them from Liquid. There's 2 buybacks from Team Liquid, but still, their heroes, they just don't have the power to slow down this sort of 20-minute push that Nigma's coming in with.
No, and we see exactly, like, the troll, Mickey pops his ult, and then he just gets, like, decrepified, or he's running into targets with ice armor or frost shield, that is. So it's very tough for actually focus down any targets, and without their bat, now it's going to be very difficult for them. They needed a little bit more time, but you see Nigma, they're really pressuring and making sure that they can close this game out before they do give Liquid more time.
And it's honestly, it's an last game I really felt was an impossible Void game. This game, I wouldn't necessarily say impossible, but very close to for a troll. These heroes are not fun to play into. You walk in, you press ult a million ways to be kited. You're just never going to finish off the kill that you get in as long as Nigma have the team together. And obviously at this timing, 21 minutes in, Nigma, they're keeping the full 5-man right by each other because that's all they need to do to be able to take these racks. They move down mid, they take a second set of racks. Liquid, they don't have an answer right now. We really are sort of seeing the series turned on its head, and it's Liquid being forced into the position that Nigma were in game 1.
It's always interesting to see how a team understands how fast they need to play. Don't back up at all, right? Because that's pretty much been, that's been Nigma the last 12 minutes, I want to say, right? They had first 10 minutes, I would say, were pretty close. I think it was like 10-10 score, just about. And then they really ramped up the pressure. They just realized, hey, we can just go from tower to tower to tower and just fight, because Liquid can't actually fight versus our lineup. Weehaw.
They have managed to lock him down. Outside the Lotus, they get him with the lasso. Weehaw is dead. A little bit of a break in the force of Nigma. Liquid, they've got to try and punish this more, though. 1 kill at the moment isn't enough. They have to chase and try and find what they can whilst Nigma cannot fight with the full 5-man. Miracle, another Remnant to jump out with. He's going to go for the TP. Do they have any TP cancel in range? They don't, so Miracle will escape. The rest of Nigma do get out of there, but a little bit of breathing room for Liquid if we are off the map. At least 30 seconds where they don't have to worry about the push coming in. It's not a lot of time. It's a little something, but they need something more still, Liquid, to really be able to turn this one.
Yeah, they really just need more time. They just need time to make sure that Nigma doesn't hit their base, but you see Nigma, they've already drawn the line. Top and mid are going to naturally push in. They can look to either go for a pick-up or just force bottom in, depending on what their situation is. Looks like they want to probably just try to force and get a ward down first so they can get the better positioning, so they're running at least 4 of the heroes just straight in with GH. And he sold his Urn. He bought a Blade Mail.
I mean, if you ask Jet, she'll say, "What Urn? I never bought an Urn."
What Urn?
What? I never bought. We cover for him. You know, GH, he never bought an Urn. He rushed Blade Mail. Nice, very nice. And now down bottom. They're on to the tier 2, and obviously no expectations to see Liquid do anything around this. Liquid are going to have this final defense really inside their base. This bottom set of racks. It didn't work out at top. It did not work out mid. What sort of changed between then and now? Not really a whole lot. 2k gold's been built up on Mickey, but that's, you know, still 2k gold away from having a BKB.
And they just got clipped by a rocket in the back as they're smoking, so now even the surprise jump won't be a surprise. Nigma also counter smokes themselves, positioning them themselves. Mind control, immediately Lotus Orbed to guard him from the lasso. They really need, on the side of Liquid, they need some double lasso Dream, really, right? They need the Soulbind lasso into base on like the Pugna and the Necrophos or something. Yeah,
even then it's still a bit of a pipe dream away. It feels the potential of turning this one. Nigma just 1 racks away from basically just breaking the game out. and taking this game to victory. Qualifier does get the jump in onto mind control, but an instant protection is there. GH looking on the side for Tiger, jumps in with the cogs with the scythe out. That's Qualifier dead for 100. There's no buyback on him. They do
Double
get the
lasso.
lasso in onto both GH and Miracle. Miracle still with a remnant available to jump to the side. Another one to get out of there as We Are moves in onto the front lines, starts to push back Boxy and Mickey. Mickey, he'll get the battle trance off, but he's been Spirit Vessel. He's not healing up. Miracle's getting low, but the disarms onto Mickey. They won't even kill the Ember. They'd only lose GH and they'll tap out. GG is called, and Nigma strike back hard in this game too to get this victory and bring the series to a 1-1. And I've got to say, it really was night and day for me for the drafts of Team Nigma. Game 1, I don't know what was going on. Game 2, they really looked at how Liquid wanted to play in Game 1.